Let's do it. Let's do it. Melanated family, what is up? What is up? How's everybody doing out there, man? This is your brother Harrison. Happy to be back. The Melanated Combo was good, family. So, before we get the show started, a few things here. Please, family, if you follow the show, like what I do, please do me a favor and go to the Melanated Combo, to melanatedconvo.com. Like all the shows, that's some of the things I've been doing here. All the shows, all the information, some of the news stories that I talk about, all of that will be on the Melanated Convo. So melanatedconvo.com is where you can go to check out all the new content. Like I said, it'll be the information about history that I post, some of the stories about the news articles that I talk about will be there. All the shows will be there. I appreciate everybody who's continued to support your boy, right? So let's talk a little bit, man. I want to do a quick show about my semi hiatus. You feel me? Because for the first time, right? And this is a story that I think all my men out there, all my men who pay child support, all my men who struggle with this system, whether you've been incarcerated before or you incarcerated now, this is good information for the family, right? So last Wednesday, I'm driving to work Wednesday morning, like maybe 8:30, something like that, right? So I'm driving to work, get pulled over, routine traffic stop. You know what I mean? She had a reason to stop me. So it's a routine traffic stop. You know what I mean? So I'm used to routine traffic stops, pull you over, boom, 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 give you a license, give you a ticket, you go about your way. Now, what was different with this situation is when I looked back and seen her car, it was like an unmarked car. You feel me? So it's more or less one of the police vehicles you see when it's a drug bust or something big going on. You know what I mean? So being a black man in America, I see the car behind me. I see all the lights, unmarked vehicle. I've never been pulled over by an unmarked car before, family. So I'm green in these areas to a degree. You feel me? So cop pulls me over, get my license. She was a little antsy though. Like it was a little different. Like when she pulled up to the car, again, for the first time in my life, when she pulled up to the car, first thing she said is put your hands on the steering wheel. Put her hand on her shit. You know what I mean? Put your hands on the steering wheel. I'm like, wait a minute. This don't really feel right. Like normally I get pulled over, it's routine. We have a little conversation. If they're an asshole, they're an asshole. But I normally get let go. It's been a couple times I've had encounters with cops as an adult, but for the most part, it's just a routine traffic stop, right? So she get my shit, get my ID, go back to her car. I'm sitting there like I always do during traffic stops, like be calm. We're gonna get through this. I'm not thankfully, you know what I mean, even though I was raised in certain areas, I'm a black man that's never been to jail. Never been to jail, no criminal record, never really been in a police car that's driving type of shit. You know what I mean? So she come back, right? And I'm so happy I can my spirit is in a good place now, family, because when this shit first happened and after it was going on and you know what I mean, I was in my head about it. You know what I mean? So pulls me over, gets my ID, go back to the car, come back and say, "Do you know about child support?" And I'm thinking in my mind, right? Like and I always preference my story, y'all, but a part of the Melanated Combo that you're watching right now, a part of the Melanated Fathers of America, my organization that I've started, a lot of that is based on my experience with fatherhood, my experience of having 4 kids by 23, being on child support, putting women through shit, trying to be the best father I can, the struggle and strife when you're a young black man trying to raise kids and not having a father yourself. That's my story. You see what I'm saying? But for years, I worked 2 jobs, paid child support, supported my kids, mistakes here and there, but I've always been there, and that's a fact. You know what I mean? So currently, when she asks me, "Do you know about child support?" I'm thinking, at this point, I owe arrears, just to be transparent with y'all. I owe arrears that I pay every month, right? It's a small amount of money. I won't give numbers, but it's a very small amount of money compared to what I've had to pay for like 15 years, right? So it's arrears. All my kids over 18. The kids that child support I used to pay for, they all over 18. So when she asked me, "Do you know about child support?" I said, "Yeah. I mean, I pay it. What of it, right?" So then she hit me with, "Well, there's a civil arrest warrant for you that's outstanding. So I'm gonna need you to step out the car." right? So y'all, this is like going through this experience and talking about it. It's I'm realizing how new I am. As much as I've had to go through shit in my neighborhood and I see my family and people around me go through different shit, I've never been to jail, never stepped on the other side of the law like that. So this shit's foreign to me. She tell me get out the car. my ass, right? She tell me get out the car. I'm thinking, she just wants to have a better conversation with me. You know what I mean? I'm thinking when she say step out of the car, she wants to talk face to face. She wants to get to the bottom of this. You know what I mean? Not at all. She commenced to put me in handcuffs, tight ass handcuffs, I might add. So instantly, y'all, I'm thinking, damn, wait a minute. What did I'm thinking about the little money did I pay, but I'm like, did I forget something? Did I do something else? Like, is this like a child support sting where they think I'm a part of some big, I don't know what's going on because I feel like I'm about to go to jail. You see what I'm saying? So she put me in handcuffs. She starts to put me in the back of her little car because she got a little car. It's not a regular police car, like I said. So she begins to put me in the back of her car. I sit there. She's calm and she gets to telling me that, I work for child support too, and we've been looking for you. Right? This is what she tells me, family. You've been evading. Now I'm sweating a little bit like evading, looking for. Dude, I run a business at this point. So my phone, my messages, my emails, this is how I make money. So I'm thinking, damn, little white lady. I'm thinking, wait a minute. I know that the little child support dude that I've had to deal with, we are on like a first name basis at this point. So I'm like, wait a minute. I've never had an interaction with you, right? So I'm still kind of calm because I'm naive to how all this shit works, family. And I don't realize, nigga, you're about to go to jail, right? So she said, we've been looking for you. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now I get kind of, ma'am, what's your name? I don't recall ever hearing from you or no shit. So she sit me in the back of her little car. All of a sudden, 45 seconds later, a regular police car pulls up. Whoop. She's like, what? I'm going to have you sit in my friend car. My car's too small. So this is what she tell me. This is what we're going to do. So you need to go see the judge because there's a civil warrant out for your arrest. I said, ma'am, if it's about child support, it's a very small amount and I pay it every month. She said, I don't know nothing about that. I said, huh? Wait. So now I'm hella confused. She sent me in the back of the car. She say, okay, yeah, you're going to take them whenever. Yeah. She says, look, so, I'm busy now. So you can't see the judge today, which was Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock. You can't see the judge today. It's going to have to be maybe Friday. My naive ass in handcuffs, sitting in the back of the car. I'm thinking, won't see the judge until Friday. So I guess she means she's going to let me go. She's going to let me go. And I'll just have to meet her at court on Friday. Cool. I can do that. Put me in the back of the car. She says, look, so when we take your earrings off, I said, whoa. Take my earrings. It's getting deep. And I don't even see the shit I'm in. You know what I mean? When we take your earrings off, I say, well, nah, leave them on. In my mind, they're about to work this out. I paid a little money. What are we talking about? Right? What are we talking about? Now, come to find out, I missed the court date, right? I did miss a court date, like a little bullshit court date. But I'm still like, this don't feel right. Small amount of money. I paid every month. Put me in the back of the car. Tightest, the handcuffs was tight as they can possibly be on my little skinny ass wrists. Hurting the whole time. I'm headed downtown in family. This is one of, I'm making jokes about it now because I'm good. You feel what I'm saying? But throughout this process, I'm just thinking about what I speak about on a day-to-day basis. I'm thinking about how all my brothers, I'm the only male in my family that I have a relationship with. All my brothers, all my cousins, I'm the only male that's never been to jail. You know what I mean? Never been booked, processed. I got friends who had like DUIs and things of this nature where they'll go to jail for a couple hours or whatever. This is my first time experiencing anything like this. You feel me? So in the back seat, in my mind, my naive ass, I'm still thinking, they're finna go to my business and say it was a mistake. Let me out. You see what I'm saying? Because she told me the biggest thing kept registered in my mind, family, is she kept calling it a civil arrest. This is a civil arrest. I'm thinking, damn, I never really heard that before, but it sounds calm and suitable. You know what I mean? Shit, y'all, get me downtown, Sacramento County Jail, which I found out a little later, is one of the worst in the country. You feel me? Sacramento County Jail. Put me in a holding tank from 9:30 a.m. to 12 midnight, right? So all I'm thinking, because look, we understand how this criminal justice system treats us. We understand the slave labor that's instituted inside of these facilities, right? But what I've got an opportunity to experience is a bigger part too, is the mental anguish that individuals have to go through, because I'm in this position, y'all, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I pay the money. They called it civil, but everything about this feels criminal. Now, she told me, it's in the back of my mind, I can't see you till Friday. So now it's finally registering, y'all. Wait a minute, it's Wednesday evening. I gotta be in this bitch till Friday morning. Friday, whenever. That's when it's finally hit me. You know what I mean? So in the holding tank, more than 14 hours, 12 minutes. Because during this time, again, I'm new to this process. Holding tank, can't speak to nobody. This shit's new to me. All they got is a little toilet. I'm in there by myself because, again, they keep telling everybody he's here on a civil arrest. And nobody knew what to do with me. Nobody was familiar with it. Nobody knew. You see what I'm saying? So I'm in the holding tank, hella hours. Everything going through my mind. Like, I'm at this point, I try my best to be an accountable man, right? So I'm thinking, damn, what did I do? Did I do something bigger? Like, am I a part of some big ass child support scam I didn't know about and somebody didn't brought me in on it? I'm thinking the worst. You see what I'm saying? In this holding tank, 14 hours, I'm starving at this point, right? So I'm starving. I'm not familiar with your environment. At like 8:39, maybe like 5:30, right? Because I'm in there from 9:30 a.m. to 12 midnight. Like 5:30, this dude just opened the door. One of the jail workers, right? Opened again. I'm starving in this holding cell, family. One of the jail workers opened the door. He got goddamn like a I call it. I finally named it like turd chicken. It's like a turkey sandwich mixed with chicken. I couldn't tell what the fuck it actually was. So he tried to hand me a turd chicken sandwich. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. He tried to hand me a turd chicken sandwich. It's cold as hell. I'm like, no. In my mind, it's none of this is still really registering. Nigga, you in jail. Fuck that they called it civil. They're treating you like a criminal. So I refuse the sandwiches. Get these damn sandwiches out of here. Where's my phone call? I'm sounding like I'm sounding like a white man in a hostile situation. Where's my phone call? This is crazy. Why you treat me like this? You know what I mean? So they offer me the bullshit sandwiches. I refuse the sandwiches. Boom. I don't want the sandwiches. Right? Sitting there, water to drink, hella cold. When I say cold, because several years ago, right, I went to a preseason, because I'm in California, y'all. So I went to a preseason 49ers game against the Raiders in San Francisco. Short zone, preseason, hella cold. When I say cold, one of the coldest fucking days of my life. You know what I mean? I wanted a blanket. I wanted to act like, you know what I mean? It wouldn't look cool, but I was looking for a blanket and shit. This environment, being in this holding cell, colder than that. So I'm cold, I'm starving, my stomach's starting to hurt. I press the button. Keep it in mind, any of y'all that been to jail, y'all know the button is only for medical use only, is what they say. So I press the button again, right? Can somebody bring me back can somebody bring back those sandwiches for me, right? So they bring back the sandwiches eventually. And family, the only thing I'm thinking about is what it's slowly starting to sink in what brothers in these situations have to deal with. Because in all honesty, I knew I didn't do nothing wrong. I know I'm not a criminal. I know there was a level of misunderstanding that was going on here, right? So I knew I was going to go home. But it began to hit me like the level of treatment, because we see how criminals get institutionalized. We see how people who go to jail rather end up institutionalized. They end up going back to jail for whatever reason. It's like a breeding ground for criminal behavior, damn near. It's like a breeding ground for you to revisit. Like they're slowly but surely institutionalizing your ass. And that I proved it to myself by refusing the sandwich, because I'm used to eating whatever the fuck I want to eat. After hella hours, I'm like, shit. Give it to me. Let me try it. And this is the coldest sandwich, the coldest bread. You don't know if it's turkey or chicken. This is a horrible introduction to this environment. Keep it in mind, they said I'm here for civil reasons, right? So non-criminal, civil reasons. Long story short, 12 midnight, they end up bringing me to my cell. The bed is thinner than any air mattress you ever seen. So this shit, I'm mentally strong, but this shit, I'm stepping back and watching it like this is inhumane. How they're processing me, how the people, the workers, not all, but most, who I attempted to contact, attempted to say something to, you feel me? I was met with blatant disregard, like you a criminal. You finna get treated like a criminal. You see what I'm saying? So long story short, y'all, I ended up spending 48 hours in jail. Horrible food, mystery ass meat. Like I got dogs, right? And I got dogs, like you know how some black folks grew up having dogs where they're in the backyard, fucking everything up, and you know what I mean? My dogs are in my house. We treat them well. You see what I'm saying? Give them their food as well as some of our food sometime. Look, family, they treated me way worse than I've ever even thought about treating my dog. The food, everything. I was thinking, because you get hungry. 48 hours, you damn near starving. So you bring my chow, and they called it chow. They called it chow. Perfect fucking name, because it looked like puppy chow. So I was thinking, trying everything. They brought me a little mystery dish. Fruit that didn't taste like fruit, vegetables that didn't taste like vegetables. I'm just trying everything because I'm starving. But I'm thinking, damn, where did they get this from? This food remind me of the goddamn dog food that I look at. Y'all ever looked at, if you have animals, have you ever looked at the food like, damn, of course I wouldn't eat that, but it looked kind of similar to some of the shit we eat. You know what I mean? So they're pretty much feeding me dog food. And all jokes aside, y'all, we understand, again, like I was saying, how we had a lot of brothers involved in this criminal system, this criminal justice system. The recidivism rate is extremely high, and all of that makes sense to me more now. Like it bigger than anything. Like I said, me and my family upset. We're gonna do what we have to do to move forward on certain things. You feel me? But bigger than anything, I can see why people revisit. The inhumane conditions. Like the human mind is something crazy, right? If you treat somebody like an animal, you feed them like an animal, you treat them like an animal, you lock them up like an animal. Like, what do you think the results of these conditions going to be? Again, I knew my situation, so I'm not in here just to keep it like, let's be contextual. I'm not in this situation stressing out like a nigga who just did a crime or somebody who was about to go to trial and you don't know where your future is. This ain't my situation. Let's keep it real. Like, I know I'm going home, but I begin to sit back and look like, damn, I'm looking at this little ass cell. I'm looking at the accommodations. I'm looking at how you treat me. I'm looking at how I can't speak to speak to anybody. I'm looking at how you're making me shower. I'm looking at how much time you giving me to talk on the phone and shower, all these things. I'm sitting back looking at the cell like, who could this benefit? Again, I'm well aware of how the system treats us, family, but being in this situation was eye-opening more than anything. Like, what's the end result of treating a human like this? Now, I get it. We have murderers, killers, child molesters, particular individuals that we want to keep off of the street and away from us. But I got to thinking like, damn, true. But when we talking drug dealing, we talking some type of spousal abuse, when we talking stealing from a store, there's a lot of crimes where I feel a person should get the help they need. We should address it in a manner that makes sure they don't do it again, sure. But being treated like an animal can only institute like animalistic behavior. You see what I'm saying? Because look, check this out. I am a mild-mannered, on my worst day, passive individual when it comes to certain shit, right? This is me. I'm in this cell for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, no real food, no communication with the outside world, not able to call my family. They kept rejecting me when I tried to make a phone call. When they finally let me out, he wanted to take my fingerprints. He's walking slow. Well, I'm walking slow. I'm sorry. Because I know I'm finna do my fingerprints and go back to that goddamn hell, right? So I'm walking slow. The officer's telling me, hey, you can walk faster or whatever. I'm, again, it takes a lot damn near to get me upset or to a certain point. I'm talking shit to him. We talking shit to each other. We finna get something popping, right? I take my fingerprints, get back to the little cell. I'm thinking, damn, this is only a microcosm of what a lot of our brothers have to deal with in this system. And I'm thinking, this is just 48 hours by no stretch of the imagination. Am I saying I'm all fucked up for being in that position? But we got to think about it, right? When we talk about child support, because this is the situation in which, again, all the specifics, me and my family dealing with some shit, so we're going to get to what we need to get to. But the point is, I'm current, so I pay the money, and you treat me like a criminal. Think about what this can do to someone's psyche. Think about that. Someone who's never been to jail, someone who's never been involved with the system in this manner, this type of isolation, I learned, this type of isolation can be detrimental on you mentally, depending on your mental state at the time. You see what I'm saying? Like if we look at, like, for instance, we look at majority of the brothers who are on child support, because we have to be contextual. My personal belief is a man should put himself in a position with his family, with his potential mate, right? The woman he's going to be with. You put yourself in a position where you're in a family setting. You try your best to set things up based on your leadership and who you are as a man, where child support isn't needed, right? You guys agree to have a baby. Y'all both working, you just working, whatever you agree to. Child support won't come into play. Now, we all know that women get scandalous sometimes if things don't go their way. That can be a tool used against a black man, right? But as a man, as long as you're doing certain shit to prevent that from being your reality, there's nothing else you can do. So I would tell any man, like, there are measures you can attempt to take to avoid this situation, because I don't like black folks. I don't like melanated people going to the system for anything, family. I don't like us relying on the system for any reason. But my question to everybody is, what should happen to a man who don't pay for his kids? See, if a man doesn't willfully, like, hey, I don't have a job, but I'm not working with you for whatever reason. I'm not paying it. I'm not cooperating. I'm not communicating with the woman, because I'm big at this point in my life. I'm big on understanding, if I'm a man who's struggling financially, if the woman is sensible and I'm genuine, I should be able to go to her and express I'm struggling, but what can I do? See, some men leave out the what can I do part. Your pride is fucking with you. Your ego fucking with you. You don't have the money. You can't afford it. You don't feel like you're in the right place. Opposed to going to her and saying, I don't have the money, but what can I do? How can we rectify the situation? A lot of men just say, fuck it. And I've seen that. You see what I'm saying? So I got to be honest. If you a man who refusing to pay for your kid, refusing to be a part of the kid's life, because it ain't just about money. Time is way more important, in my opinion. You see? But if you're a man who refusing to be involved, then I don't agree with women going through that system, but something has to give. I don't think a woman should just not receive aid or not get any type of help from a man and then be just fucked to handle it all on her own. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a two-way street. Like when I was reading a lot of information about a lot of fathers who were on child support, a lot of fathers who had to go to jail for child support, let me see, what's the brothers? Walter Scott, the brother who was killed by the cops several years ago. Interesting story. He was running from the cops based on the fact that he owed child support, based on the fact that he's been paying child support for hella years. It seems like by reading his story, sometime he wasn't able to pay, sometime he was, putting him in jail. It pretty much lost him his job. You see what I'm saying? So the question is, for everybody out there, family, what should be done with a man who doesn't pay child support? What should be done? Should a man be jailed? Because I'm reading hella laws about throughout our country, most states legitimize the fact that if you're not paying, you get put into a jail cell. If you're not paying, that's one of the forms of reprimanding you. When if the idea is for you to pay, if the idea is for you to help out with the kid, how the fuck are you gonna help out if you're in the jail cell? Opposed, like looking at Walter Scott's case, the brother who was killed by the cops here several years ago. We protested about it. A lot of shit went on about it. He was basically saying that he would get in a position where he had a job, late on the child support or whatever, end up going to jail, lose the job. See? So just like there's a school to prison pipeline, I strongly believe now when you're an indebted father, when you're in a position where you can't afford to pay when it comes to child support, that's a criminalization factor as well that they use against us, family. You see? You see? And to me, when you tell me that, because again, the one of the biggest things that stood out to me in my situation, family. Again, hit that like button, hit that share button, family. Welcome everybody to the new episode of the Melanated Convo. I'm talking about a situation I had last week where I had to spend a few days in the county jail. You feel me? But the biggest thing for me is when we finally get to the judge, he expresses the fact that what happened to me was wrong. Like, he was shocked. I'm not going to get into all the details about me and this man because we have a small history, but he was shocked to know that I had spent 2 days in jail based on this type of endeavor. And they called everything about my situation, they called civil, right? So I'm thinking in my mind, what the fuck is civil to you people? Because the ride down there wasn't civil. The experience in the holding tank wasn't civil. The food, the shower, nothing about the environment was civil. A lot of the employees treated you like shit. I come from a world where you ask for assistance and you get it. You see what I'm saying? This is a completely different environment. Family, you treat me like a criminal, but you keep calling my case civil. For a lot of people, because we see how just the prison system in general negatively affects a lot of our brothers, how they return back, their temperament once they finally get out. But think about somebody who's never been to jail before. And this can be white, black, Asian, no matter your race. Think about somebody who's never been in these situations before and they're treated as a criminal. So in my opinion, if you're going to say some civil shit, the accommodations need to be different. It needs to be treated like you're not a criminal. To treat me like a criminal for the wrong person, a person that has a particular mentality, this can be devastating. Like, this can leave a lasting effect on their entire life. You see what I'm saying? And I'm reading all these stories today, family, about a lot of the southern states specifically. You go to jail for child support. And it has to be a two-way street, family, because look, we sometimes in our society, when we talk about the relationship between the black man and the black woman, we know all the shit we've had to go through historically. But at times when you say, hey, look, yeah, the man should be accountable for raising the kids, helping out, being the provider, but it's a two-way street though. You see, because all too often we see situations where the man has no money. He has no money. He has no income, no potential of income. He may be a street dude. He may just be a dude who don't like working, whatever the case may be. And this brother finally has a baby with a woman who let's keep it real, family, who he don't got a job, who you've been around him. He ain't never worked. He ain't never showed you he had the aptitude to get a damn job. Now that y'all got a kid together, we weaponizing the child support, or we weaponizing the welfare system, because welfare and child support go hand in hand, whether you know it or not. So we look at women who are weaponizing this. I'm not talking about all women. Yes, some women use that system and end up progressing, but a lot of women the same system that has for centuries fucked us all over, use the same system against the black man. You see what I'm saying? We have to be honest about that. So child support, again, like I mentioned, if a man isn't paying anything for a kid, he's not trying to help out, I don't like using the system. But what other route? You're giving a woman no other choice. So again, before even having a family, this should be all the things you're thinking about as a man. You see what I'm saying? Because what happened to me happens to a lot of men around the country all the time. And I feel like the injustice of what took place. You see what I'm saying? Because again, that amount of time in jail when everything is current, like the judge said, this is damn near unlawful. But we see, because look, in my situation, I was able to go through that. It's just 48 hours, but not miss work like that. My business situation is set up a little bit differently, so that didn't affect me as much. Like I was reading about Walter Scott. This brother was at a boiling point, which is why he ran from the cops, which is why he ended up getting killed, because he kept losing jobs. He would get a new job, start catching up on child support, get pulled over, or have an interaction with a cop. Now he goes to jail. He loses the job. This is demoralizing for a lot of men. We need to keep it real. Yes, as a man, Your whole goal, if you have children, should be to be in their life, be supportive, be there for them. But this system sometimes can be crippling. And for a lot of men, they say, fuck it. I'd rather not. This isn't right, but this is the reality of the situation. This is the reality of the world that we live in today. You see what I'm saying? So, men, if you can avoid that goddamn system at all costs, and I can only speak for myself as a young man, I didn't avoid it. Like, I have to be honest, I didn't put myself in a position to avoid this situation. So, yes, I can speak to how women have a role to play in a lot of this shit, but I started it. Like, I constructed a lot of what happened in my life, which led me on child support and all the different shit. But arresting a man who's current with his child support should be illegal. And I'm reading around the country, a lot of it be men who are, like, let's say you are 3 or 4 months behind, whatever the amount may be for your child support, right? Let's say you are 3 or 4 months behind. How is jailing you for it going to actually help the situation? If the goal is you paying, if the goal is you being in a situation mentally and financially to help out, putting you in jail ain't gonna help that. In a lot of states, you can be in jail and your child support is still adding up, right? So you get out and you finally get a little bullshit job or whatever you can find, and now you 20, 30, $40,000 in arrears. I'm sitting in this cell, y'all, looking around like, how can this possibly help me? If I owe you money, if anybody owes money, how can this environment be helpful? Because I'm talking to brothers around me who've been in the county jail for a year, for 6 months, 2 years, whatever the case may be. And I'm thinking, after being treated like an animal, based on the food, based on the treatment, based on the environment, everything is on some animalistic shit. How do you expect a man to come out of this situation and be a productive member of society? You expect him to come out and just fill out a job application and get a job? You've been treated like an animal, like an outcast for X amount of time, just to throw you back in society. That shit should actually be a crime in itself. There should be a long process. Now, they have the halfway houses and all this, but family, nobody should be in an environment where they treat it like that, especially for something that's not a crime. We see how our brothers are getting treated like slaves, because I'm looking around the jail and I see it's eye-opening. I see a lot of young dudes, healthy, wide-eyed, like helping out. They got all these different jobs they doing in jail. I'm like, damn, we get our brothers here and now they working, or now yeah, no, you're right. Exactly. Because, like I've always thought, Jermaine, if you owe money, you owe money. And as even a black man, but just being a man, I'm aware that you should be accountable. And sometimes that's not always financial. Sometimes it can be the communication part. Hey, I don't have it. What could I do? Right. So you always have to be in communication. But if, let's just say, a dude can't find a job for whatever reason, putting him in jail for it, making that add up as an expense as well. This isn't going to help anything. This is actually counterproductive if you think about it. So I'm sitting back, looking at these walls, hearing everybody scream, like looking at the anguish around me. And I'm like, damn, this is all everybody said it was. Like, this is slave labor at its finest. And you have to be strong too. This is why I see brothers go to being a Muslim, brothers go to different sets of religion. I get it, because you're looking for something to free yourself from this anguish, regardless of what you've actually done. You see what I'm saying? So figuring out a different way to punish people. And we know that America incarcerates people 5-6 times more than any other country, right? So we understand the financial aspect of it, but this is actually crippling our society. And for me, because I'm cool, this is 48 hours. I'm a strong-minded person, y'all. But this gave me perspective. More than anything, this gave me perspective. Like, wow, not me. I'm gonna be out of here. What about the brothers who had to spend a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, 6, all these numbers? And when you come into contact a lot of times with a brother who's had to spend a lot of years behind the wall, there's a different type of interaction you're experiencing. You know what I mean? Simply because of the environment he's had to endure for so long, which is nothing like on the outside. So To think you're rehabilitating him or getting him prepared, it's in a lot of cases, it's just making you worse. Like I said, some dudes find religion, find different things they can attach themselves to feel free mentally. I get that. But overall, the system is crippling our country and Black society, minorities, whatever you want to call us. Our unemployment rate, the amount of us who are in ghettos in America, disadvantaged people that come from our community, we suffer more when you're in a position where you don't have money and you procreate. That's why a lot of what I talk about, family, is about us figuring out the right way to procreate, like thinking about it first, avoiding all these traps that the system have set up for us, because I didn't do that. Like I have to keep that real. A large part, if not solely, the reason why I'm sitting in front of you today, like the antithesis for me starting everything I've done, is based on my experience with child support. It's based on my experience with being a young Black man, not having a father, and seeing that cycle being continued in me. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, the system creates these roadblocks, but all of us should be trying to avoid them at every turn. You see? But we see, like, even though I say that because I feel that wholeheartedly, my situation, I've been avoiding it at every turn. I've been paying child support for almost 20 years when the bulk of what I used to pay, that was a larger amount of money. What I'm paying now, that ain't shit. So I'm paying it. I'm compliant because I'm used to it, really, because I've been doing it for so long, I'm used to it. So I don't really see it as a large burden. It's just a part of my financial responsibility that I've had to uphold. You see what I'm saying? But the jail part, the handcuff, like the process of how they treat you, this could do something to a person mentally. You see what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, I'm talking to my brothers, talking to people around me who care about me. You know what I mean? And shout out, I'm doing everything that I do. I'm I'm on social media a lot. I do interviews. Everybody who follow me have a clearer understanding of just how I give up and my work, how I give it up, my work ethic, what I do here on the Melanated Convo. And shout out to, when this incident happened, I had interviews scheduled. I had some conversations scheduled with people. And what I can say I'm real proud about is some of the people around me who follow what I do, who I've been able to become friends with now, who I've been able to become acquaintances with now. They knew something was wrong and they reached out and they started putting the word out and saying, and that, look, y'all, we live in a society, we have our family and the people close to us, but a lot of people don't give a fuck about you. Like a lot of people are on a what you can do for me type of basis. So when you meet real people, and a part of what I do now, like a large part of this, which I didn't expect, is I've been able to meet a lot of great people that are like-minded. See, I think that's what we should all be. Of course, you want to dialogue with people and get different opinions, but connecting with like-minded individuals who think about life the way you do, think about the community the way you do, I'm realizing these are golden relationships. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody who reached out to me, who was just trying to see, wait, what's going on? That means something. As fast as life is moving, everything we all go through, a lot of people don't give a fuck like that, just to be honest. You see what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. And any type of experience I go through like this, and for all of us, we should use everything in like a positive manner and see how we can use it as a source of empowerment, if nothing else. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes people go through things and they internalize it. They get down on themselves, and this can cause depression. This can cause all type of things. I'm happy I've created a platform for myself where I talk like everything I go through, even if it isn't directly, because if I'm going through something that's involving other people that are walking around, I don't want to put people's names and business out there. This is what I do. They didn't agree to have these conversations. You know what I mean? But it's good to be able to speak about stuff that you go through. It's good to be able to know you created relationships with people based on your hard work and what you're actually trying to do for the community. You know what I mean? So I had to come online, man, and tell everybody about my experience. I was trying to, for the longest, family, I was trying to figure out a way to approach this conversation because I was so upset, y'all. Like I was so hurt by it. I was so upset. I so wanted to say fucking I wanted to say names and the judge's name, and I wanted to go all the way in, but I got to be careful. You know what I mean? Me and my family going to make some moves the way we need to, because like I said, the long and short of it, when I finally got to the judge, he was appalled. You know what I mean? He was appalled. And that I had been in jail for this amount of time. He wasn't aware of it. Me and him have a semi relationship, so he know who I am to a degree, you know what I mean? So it was a real weird occurrence, but I'll get stronger from it and grow from it. But all my brothers, man, I was speaking to a young brother today, man. We need to try our best to avoid these situations. I know men who did everything they could to avoid this system, set their life up right. They still end up in situations. That happens. That's just life in America being black at times. But all too often, we don't think about the future and how these things can affect us in our future. You see, you 17, 18, 19, moving a certain way, you're going to be 40 one day. You're going to be a grown man one day. These kids going to be grown one day. You know what I mean? So this is like a lesson to take stuff more serious. Be more serious about things. Be more intentional about things. Understand your responsibility while still acknowledging that we live in a system that do certain shit. You feel me? So this is your brother Harrison, man. Please do me a favor. And like I said, the Melanated Convo is now up and running. Now you can find the show. You can find my social media. Everything I do, you can find it at one place, melanatedconvo.com. Go there right now if you haven't done so. Follow me on my Facebook page, Instagram, everywhere you can find the show. Again, I appreciate everybody that looked out for me. I appreciate just everybody that follows what I do in general. I see all the comments. I see all the information people send me. I definitely appreciate it, y'all. This is your brother Harrison, Melanated Convo.